Estate with host Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420. This podcast is for real estate agents. Tina interviews the best of the best agents in the greater Seattle market. Learn strategies and the mindset needed to be your best. If you're looking to take your real estate business to the next level, this show is for you.
Welcome to Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, sponsored by Hubbard Radio Seattle. I am your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. My show is with real estate agents for real estate agents. My lineup is exclusive and reserved for the best of the best in the greater Seattle real estate market based on closed transactions in the last 12 months. If you are a real estate agent looking to level up your game, you are in the right place. My guest today is here today to share what he has learned over the years that has taken him to the top in the real estate field. Now in studio, Jeff Dickinson of eXp Realty. Jeff has closed 83 transactions. I'm going to say that one more time. He has closed 83 transactions in the last 12 months, and that earns him the title of an industry leader. Data provided and verified by MMI, Mobility Market Intelligence. And Benny, my producer, is shy today. He went off of video.
I was waiting for my intro. I didn't want to step on your toes.
There was some strategy behind that, Benny. Yeah. For those of you who are watching on the YouTube channel or on the website, I always like to show for you on video. And when I give my big thanks out to Benny is my producer over at Hubbard Radio. And there is a lot of things that happen behind the scene. And without Benny, I would not be here with you today, which means that I wouldn't be able to bring my guest in, Jeff. So thank you, Benny.
You're quite welcome. I'll work on my parade wave while I'm at it,
Oh, I love that.
That's risk, right?
Yeah. And Jeff, of course, I want to say a big thank you to you for joining my show today.
Oh, just thrilled to be here, Tina. Always great to see you.
Wonderful. So before we get started, I would like to go ahead and share a little bit about you, Jeff, to my listeners. Over the years, Jeff has been involved in the development of apartments, office buildings, residential condominiums, and self-storage facilities. His real estate practice includes extensive buyer and seller representation of residential properties throughout the Puget Sound region. Jeff is the founder and director of Home Advantage Program, one of the most successful real estate teams. The primary focus is corporate employee representation with over 90 corporate clients, including Boeing, UW, King County, Seattle, City of Seattle, and Harborview Medical Center. You must be the best of the best to get into the corporations like this. So again, Jeff, really excited to get our conversation started. And in my introduction, I shared that you have a corporate employee program. Is this where majority of your business comes from? And how do you continue to foster your relationships, Jeff?
Yeah, it really is, Tina. As I say, I'm so much different than any other agent that I know. And in that, in 2005, when I reinvented myself as a residential real estate agent, I just had this aha moment that, it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I was at Starbucks, had been living out of town for many, many years, developing resort communities, and I thought, where am I going to generate my clients? And it just dawned on me that my clients were at work at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm just going to focus on efforts to generate clients at the workplace. And probably one of the biggest confusions is this is not relocation. I'm not a big relocation fan. I don't like pointing at the Space Needle, and do you want to live a mile or an hour north or an hour south of Seattle? This is just local and crosstown moves. We're helping clients, move from Linwood to Mukilteo, as an example. And so these are the kindest clients that you can generate. Totally different than buying those internet leads. So it's just kind of off the chart. It allows me really as a single agent to do my 80 transactions a year, really without a team. just transaction coordinator, but these clients are teed up, ready to go. So yeah.
Yeah, and that is awesome. A few things that you mentioned. First, reinvention, because the best of the best, they know how to reinvent, when to reinvent. The second thing that you said is that aha moment. And so if you're listening to the show right now and you want to take your business to the next level, first you have to understand how to follow your gut, your intuition that's telling you, aha, this is something really special. And then in that moment, continue to build on that, because something magical is happening behind the scenes. You don't know what it is yet, maybe, but you can feel it. And then also, Jeff is talking about B2B business, really connecting with the employers, which is the B2B partner, business to business partnership. And then that connects him with the individual clients to get to the B2C. So your power partners, B2B business is really a way to level up in one time your lead generation, because they're a constant source of business. Instead of going directly just B2B, or B2C, B to consumer, get B2B. They will get you to your consumer. And then you're not constantly looking for that next one. Someone else is filling that funnel for you. Is that correct, Jeff?
Yeah, no, you're right on, Tina. So what's been interesting, since 2005 that I've been doing this, that I have a transaction rate of 1 for every 100 employees that I represent. So it's really cool to wake up on January 1st every year and say, okay, I've got about 5,000 employees here in the Puget Sound that I represent at a pretty granular level. So I know that I've got 50 transactions built in, another 30 come from my database, and life's pretty good.
Life is absolutely very good for you,
Yeah.
Jeff, for sure. And you can see it in your smile. Another great word that he uses, represent, because really that's what we do, is we represent our clients. And when you use words and have that part of your dialogue and what you're about in business, that's where you're building relationships that continue to come back. So Jeff, industry leaders are always looking for new ways to continue to grow their business. What is the next big thing that you're working on your business right now today?
For me, Tina, it's off the chart. I started an AI company about 4 months ago, and just happened to be hooked up with a gentleman that spent 8 years at the NSA, the National Security Agency, and he was a head of machine learning. So he's developed a chat bot and a voice bot for me, and also for the real estate industry. So we're just about to launch that. And I just think that artificial intelligence, whether we want to embrace it or not, is going to play a bigger role in our industry. I think there's going to be fewer of us agents, just like in other industries. And, we need to be on the cutting edge and ahead of that curve versus being left behind. So I'm really excited. It's a company called leadignition.ai, and I think it's going to just dramatically change how we do business.
Best of the best are not fearful of change and shift in the market. Just as Jeff said, he's excited about it because you're moving forward with that. Think if you're, I've been in mortgages for 27 years now. And I remember back in the day when real estate agents, you had the big, huge books, and consumers could not have access to any real estate. They had no idea what was on the market unless they hired a real estate agent to then give them access to the big book that they carried around in their car with them. And as soon as the internet came, real estate agents thought, my gosh, this is it. We're out of business. Now, obviously, that was not the case. Instead, agents were able to level up and do massive more, have the potential to do massive more transactions because of the convenience of what the MLS brought in, the multiple listing service. And same thing with AI coming in. You just have to be willing to quickly adapt, a shift, and then be able to take advantage of the opportunity. And that, again, is why Jeff is one of the best of the best. He has been in his entire career, and he will be moving forward. So coming up next on Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, continue conversation with Jeff Dickinson of eXp Realty. Welcome back.
How do you choose your mortgage professional partner when referring your buyers? Tina Mitchell, 145-420 is passionate about her career in the mortgage industry because of the challenges her family faced keeping a roof over their heads. She played her violin with her little sister at Pike Place Market as street performers to help their parents pay the bills. This was a traumatic experience for her, but drove her to work hard and realize the success she has today. Tina purchased her first home when she was 20, and this gave her a sense of pride and security that her parents did not have. Helping others reach their dreams of home ownership is rewarding to Tina. Tina has been in the mortgage industry for over 25 years and has been recognized in the top 1% nationwide. For more information on how Tina is helping her buyers stand out next to their competition, go to TinaMitchellTeam.com. That's TinaMitchellTeam.com.
Welcome back to Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, sponsored by Hubbard Radio Seattle. My second podcast, and I'm still trying to get used to my format that I actually created. I forgot I actually have my own commercial in the middle of the podcast. Yeah, I am your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. Continued conversation with Jeff Dickinson of eXp Realty. Are you a real estate agent looking for that one thing to take your business to new heights? Jeff is here to motivate and inspire you to be your best. You will learn what Jeff is doing and how you can implement his best practices into your real estate business. Today, Jeff is sharing his strategies and mindset needed to be the best in the industry. He is here to inspire other real estate agents to level up their business as well. Learn Jeff's secrets to success. Jeff, thanks again for being here today with me.
Absolutely, Tina. Thank you.
Yeah. So looking back, what is one thing that you would have done differently in your business and why?
Yeah, so this is a big lesson and a no-brainer for me, and that is working my database. There's no good excuse, but my excuse is that, with my corporate affinity program, every week I had new clients coming into my ecosystem, and so the database gets neglected. Probably a $3 million, commission income loss or more. So I've really had my aha moment the last 2 years, and so I've just been working the heck out of my database. In our downturn, environment right now, it's really been a big saving grace. I'm calling 5 of my clients every single day by phone, and I'm writing out 5 little love notes, every day and sending those out, and it's just made a dramatic difference. It's really brought my database in as a family and just a lot more interactive. So that's a no-brainer for me.
And what great advice. And it is a no-brainer. But the unfortunate thing is there's a reason why it used to be the 80-20 rule. Now it's the 90-10 rule, meaning that 10% do 90% of the business. I don't know where the 1% falls in, but then you have 1%. So we'll say 101.
Right.
So you have the choice to stalk at the cold or court the warm. And courting the warm is exactly what Jeff is talking about. They say that you should be able to pull 10% a year out of the people that you've worked with before. So if you're listening to the show right now, I want you to look at that and see what that would be and continue to grow through the process. Now, Jeff also talked about picking up and making a phone call. A lot of people are not getting those phone calls or the snail mail. He handwrites cards. How often do you get a handwritten card in the mail? I want you to ask yourself that. Now I want you to ask yourself the last time that you did get that handwritten card in the mail, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, did you hold on to it and what type of meaning did it have? Because you know exactly what it did. So think about that. What you want and what makes you feel good and want to support that person is exactly what is going to make your clients feel good. So Jeff's aha moment, staying in contact with his database, and that's how he continues to build his business, stay at the top, and continue to build even to higher heights. So Jeff, what top value add do you provide that sets you apart from your competitors?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is just my extensive knowledge, having helped, a couple thousand clients. I think my extensive construction background. So, when I have a buyer client or even a seller client and, needs advice on getting their home ready for market, or a buyer that, just wants to know what the materials are made of for this house and things to look out for there. And then finally, I think as agents, our biggest value is education. And no matter whether a home buyer or seller has done this many times or the first time, they still have questions about the process. And thank goodness that these people don't do this every single day. Otherwise, maybe our value would be diminished. But because we do this every 10 years or whatever the cadence is, they forget. And I think it's a huge value for us to be able to guide them, to be able to educate them on on their biggest asset in their in their portfolio or in their life. So
that's great advice. And if you're listening to the show today and you're thinking, wow, I just gotten in the business, of course, Jeff can say education and knowledge and being in construction and all of that is important and helps him set aside from his competitors. The reality is it doesn't matter what you know or what you don't know. It's how you communicate knowledge and the right knowledge. So what I mean by that is if you don't know, you know the people that know. So connect yourself. That's what this show is about. And it almost brings tears to my eyes, Jeff, and just got goosebumps because that's why I created this show is I want to create this space right here for other agents to be able to get the knowledge and connect with people that are at, because you can be the best of the best. You don't have to be it right now in this moment when you're having a conversation with a client. You can get back to the client and whatever information that they need, take the time to gather the information, get it from the people that know it, and then you can communicate it. And continuing to communicate you as an expert in your field, anybody can do that. It's just gathering the knowledge and taking your time in how you respond to something that you may not be knowledgeable about at this time, because you can get it very quickly. Now, of course, you can go online and get data that way, but I encourage for you to connect, surround yourself with the best of the best, because here's the reality. People that are in the 1 percentile, and I speak from experience because I am as well in the mortgage industry. It's been recognized in the 1 percentile in the entire nation many times throughout my career. And people that are at the top of their game, they want to give back. They want to share. You just have to ask. And I always say the task is to ask. And if you don't ask, the answer is no, you don't get the information. If you do ask and you make the attempt to reach out, the best of the best are going to take time to support you. Would you agree with that, Jeff?
Totally agree. Totally agree. It's interesting in our industry. Last year out of 32,000 agents, there are only 182 of us that did 20 or more transactions last year. It's just crazy. So
it's so crazy.
Yeah, but no, I'm an open book. I would welcome conversation with any agent.
Yeah, I know that. And just know that if somebody else can do it, you can do it as well. You just need to do things differently, and how you do things differently is you follow the 1 percentile. You don't follow the 90% that are doing 10% of the business.
Right.
All right. Because there's a lot of noise out there. What you need to do is just be in a mindset to be able to shut out that noise. The noise being right now is, how are we going to survive in the business? Well, we've got somebody here right now that's done over 80 transactions in the last 12 months. So you can survive and you can thrive in what's known as a challenging market. So Jeff, I lost what, I know I had something. Oh, was there an aha? Did I ask you? I just lost my train of thought on business. Did we talk about your aha moment?
Just lightly, but I'll tell you, I have another aha that I think is just the total wake up call, and that is really understanding the business that we're in. And as I've always said, we're in the client generation business. Real estate's easy, but generating clients, we don't have clients to serve, we're out of business. And I had a mentor in the resort industry that he basically said, generate a client at any cost. And then rule number 2 is work on reducing the cost of generating that client.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just been tried and true for me ever since. So I wake up every day saying, how am I going to generate clients to serve, because everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah. And how you reduce the cost, because you have to initially invest in your business, and how you reduce the cost is what Jeff has been talking about here today with my interview with him. It's continuing to foster the relationships that you have and you have already built. It's less effort, it's more fun, and it absolutely is less of an investment because you've already built that relationship. So again, instead of chasing the new, go out and foster the relationships that you've already built. And if you're new in the industry and you haven't built relationships, meaning worked with buyers and sellers at a high level, you have sphere of influence, you have family, you have neighbors and communities that you're involved in. Work and foster those relationships because they already know, like, and trust you. Right, Jeff?
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So final shout out for a real estate agent listening to the show right now. What is one thing when they listen to this podcast and this podcast ends for them? What is the one thing they need to go do right now, Jeff?
Yeah, I think just really taking inventory of, being in the client generation business. Two is looking at how they're generating clients now, maybe reduce the number of shiny rabbits or objects that they're chasing, and just try to focus on 2 or 3 things and just do those things really, really well. So
great advice. Focus on one lead generation activity. Second is, how are you going to level up your processes for that?
Right.
And third, how are you going to stay in contact with those people? And so be hyper focused in what you're doing and really level that up. Jeff, thank you so much for being a part of
my pleasure, Tina. Always a pleasure.
Yes, wonderful. All righty. So you can watch this recording that I've had with Jeff and other industry leaders by going to Best in Seattle Real Estate. You can also catch my shows on YouTube and, of course, on all the podcast channels. So thank you for being a listener. Thank you for being committed to take your business to the next level. Tina Mitchell, your host and your local mortgage expert. Until next time, thank you.
Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, is a licensed loan originator with Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited. The views expressed by the speakers on the preceding program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited, nor are they necessarily endorsed by Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited.